All right, welcome back, everyone. It's time for some more Pioneer, and we're going back to Old Faithful for this Pioneer video. We've got Blue-White Lotus Field Control, which is, I think, one of my most popular videos on the channel. If you go back to last year, it's the deck that I won my RCQ with. It's the deck that I took to Atlanta last year, and I just have a real soft spot for the deck. And it doesn't really show up in the meta right now, but I did see someone win an RCQ in their area with this deck list on Twitter. So I decided to play it as is. And if you're not familiar with the deck, it's Lotus Field. You have Lotus Fields and you have Thespian stages, and the name of the game is to abuse that with untap effects. So normally the Lotus Field combo deck uses cards like Hidden Strings and Pour Over the Pages to untap the two Lotus Fields, but Blue-White gives us access to Teferi, and plussing Teferi with two Lotus Fields in play is kind of as demoralizing as Pour Over the Pages, and even if you don't draw well, you still have a Teferi in play. So it's kind of a proactive game plan that is still able to have more like reliable control elements if you don't manage to assemble your Lotus Fields, and it's not as vulnerable therefore to like pieces of hate like Boseiju or Damping Sphere or Ashiok, which are the most common anti-Lotus Field cards in the meta right now. That said, I do have some suspicions about this list. Like I said, I'm running it exactly as is. I do not believe Sphinx's Rev is a good card right now. I think that it is a little pie in the sky to be able to resolve it, but I guess we'll see. Ashiok, I think, is probably a good include because I think the Lotus Field matchup might need some help otherwise. 2 copies of Dromoka is a lot. I don't think I would keep 2 in, but I guess the point is that it's very good against Phoenix, and you really want to draw it in that matchup, and it's also serviceable, I suppose, against the aggro that's in the format right now. And otherwise, the deck is pretty straightforward. You have Sweepers, you have Planeswalkers, you have the one-of Dream Trawler to make the Rakdos Vampires matchup good, and then you got spot removal. And we also have 2 copies of Settle the Wreckage, which, you know, everyone's gotten got by it at one point or another. All right, deck's pretty simple. Let's hop into some games and see how the deck does. Okay, we get to be on the play. Good place to be in the format at the moment. We have a Strict Proctor. We can Foretell, Behold the Multiverse. This is like a reasonable hand. We do kind of need this to resolve if we're going to have a good result in this game, but I think we can make that happen. I think we Foretell, Behold onto. I'm actually not sure. It probably depends on what we draw on turn 2. This first play is pretty scripted. But if we can find like a Lotus Field, this hand becomes very, very good. Up against Jetmir's Garden, so probably 5-color Niv-Mizzet over on the other side. Find a Hollowed Fountain. If I play out Proctor, it probably just gets Lightning Helixed, so I'm going to just Foretell, Behold. Dragon Skull Summit, and Beans. Beans are here. Okay. Find Memory Deluge. Now we have a choice, right? We can cast Behold and try to find a Lotus Field. But if we do that, we can't put it into play after Proctor anyway. So I kind of think we actually just chill. And the only question now is, do I Behold before they have a chance to untap, play blue lands, play veto? Yeah, tough call. Kind of think I do. Found the field. So that's going to stay on top. And they probably don't have a way to discard my Proctor. So I don't think I need the second one. We could have done that in the other order and just found the field and put it into play, but I kind of want to be greedy here. I like my lands. And they do have, they have, some of these lists have Krenko's Buzz Crusher in the main. So if I Lotus Field there and it's my only land in play and they somehow get Krenko's Buzz Crusher out, then it's a worse spot for me. As is, we get to Proctor Lotus Field here. There's probably nothing better than that. They have Clothis, which is a bit of a clock, but not super concerning. Yeah, let's just play Proctor and Lotus Field here. Proctor also has the side benefit of blocking some of their ETB abilities. It's not like awesome in the matchup by any means, but it is pretty good. The Leyline Binding of Sadness. So this is going to work, but they're going to have to pay the tax for the Proctor. And that taps them out, which means we're going to get Teferi plus an untapped Lotus Field. And we are off to the races, my friends. Is there a world where we tuck anything? I don't think so. We can even discontinuity on their turn if we play untapped land here. Actually, even if we don't. No, we need to play untapped land. But also that lets us, if we don't feel the need, we can cycle Spara's Headquarters. I guess they could have no more lies, in which case I want extra mana. So 6, but I still wouldn't be able to pay for Memory Delusion in that case. So I think I just play a tap land here and pass. So if we see something we don't like, right? If they cast Bring to Light, we can discontinuity in response. Otherwise, we have Wandering Emperor or Deluge or really anything. They're going to get an extra mana here from Clothis, which is nice because it doesn't ping us. It's nice seeing these Fable Passages get cracked with no Omnath in play. We love that. Cycling Jetmir's Garden is awesome. Oh, this is the Mengu version. Ancient Cornucopia is here. So this is like a good anti-convoke, anti-heroic tech, but not something we are super concerned about. We can counter it, but I don't feel the need. I think I would rather just get the pressure on, while I know they can't do anything about it. This feels pretty good. They do have 1 mana open here. Not many things it could be. Find another Wandering Emperor? Alright. Yeah, let's go to combat, see if we can get him to blink, if there is a use for that mana. And if not, then we can just use this mana here. Deluge. Probably should be doing this in our end step, but whatever. Yeah, sure, whatever. There was no coming back from that. Okay, so game 1, pretty good for us. What do we want against... What do we want against 5-color Niv? Not super interested, I don't think, in Temporary Lockdown or Leyline. Ashiok does turn off Bring to Light, so that's something. Dromoka, I don't feel... They don't really want to be acting on my turn, so Dromoka doesn't feel great. But I do think I'm interested in all of the stack interaction, and possibly Ashiok. What comes out? Not really into Settle the Wreckage, of course. Sphinx's Rev seems good. Farewell seems fine. Honestly, a lot of our deck is pretty good post-board here. I feel like Farewell is marginally better than Sunfall. So if I cut these, what does this look like? Still need 2 more. I could just cut both Farewells. It's not terribly unreasonable. It's also possible we can cut the Proctors here too. I just don't think I have enough I want to bring in to justify taking out the Proctors. It would be to keep in Farewell. I do think I want to take out 1 Farewell. Have this as like something we can dig for if we really, really need it. But I don't really want it in my hand in the first like half of the game. And now we just have to evaluate whether Ashiok is better than a random card in the deck. Because it turns off Bring to Light. I guess it kind of turns off Clothis, but it doesn't really... I guess it turns off Fabled Passage too. It could be really annoying for them. Yeah, you know what? I think Get Lost is going to be enough to deal with the enchantment stuff. I think I'm down to do this. This could be wrong, but we'll see. Okay, so this is one of those hands. Double Thespian Stage in the opener is not great. We don't... Oh, I guess we do have double blue to cast Deluge. We can Foretell Behold. This is not like an inspiring hand, but given how slow the matchup is probably going to be, I think it is an okay hand to keep. We found Lotus Field, which is pretty good. I say pretty good. It is kind of the entire justification for playing the deck. Fine Sphinx's Trap, that's also nice. We do have to be wary, of course, of Buzz Crusher. So I think I'm going to play Pathway on blue, and we'll foretell. Is there anything on 3 I'm super scared of? They could cast Unmoored Eco, but like this deck does not need Lotus Field to function. So I think I'm okay with this. Okay, so nothing from the opponent here. They still don't even have blue mana, so they're not even representing veto. I am concerned about the possibility of just... Well, they can't even crank those Buzz Crusher next turn, right? Because they don't have the double red. And they can't cast Bring to Light. Unless they have some way to generate a mana on end step here. I think I want to resolve Behold here, rather than play Lotus Field. I'm going to play out this Thespian Stage. And if they want to Besage it, they can. Got to be a little wary of the number of basics in the deck. We only have, I think, the 1 Plains and the 1 Island. Looks like opponent's missing land drops. That's a shame. Find Deluge and Pathway. I think we have more than enough card draw in hand. I think I actually want the mana. As weird as that is to say. Nah, it's got to be Deluge. And I think I'm going to... Actually, you know what? Let's just take both. Both sounds good. So I'm wary of Lotus Field here, copy with Thespian Stage, and they Besage you the stage in response. So I think what I actually want to do is play out a basic land and maybe take the opportunity to copy it with Thespian Stage, or alternatively cast Memory Deluge if I feel like we're in trouble. We do have to discard to hand size. That kind of blows. I guess we'll throw away the extraneous Thespian Stage. Okay, so now I guess maybe throwing away the stage was not great there. But if I copy the Plains here, then it forces them to Besage you now, which will tap them out. I'll be able to resolve to Fairy. That's got to be good, right? At the same time, resolving Deluge is really, really good. And it doesn't give them the window. It gives them the window to hit the Thespian Stage anyway. Yeah, I think actually I want to do this while they don't have any blue open. And if they want to kill the Thespian Stage now, that's fine. Veto seems good. Honestly, everything seems pretty good. So now we can take Veto and Behold. And now we get to resolve to Fairy, hold up Veto. If they have exactly Leyline Binding, they get to hit to Fairy before we untap 2 lands. But I'm still okay with that because we can Veto Bring to Light. And we can always, like, kill a Leyline Binding later and get the Fairy back. And if they don't have Leyline Binding, then we're in business. Yeah, they do have it. That's fine. We even drew another Teferi to really drive home the point. We could foretell Behold here. I think now I am... that sucks. Guess I should have thought more about that. But I do want to hold up Veto for Bring to Light next turn. Now what am I pitching? Probably Discontinuity. Long way from casting that one. Fable, is that one worth vetoing? They do have 2 blue. They do have 2 mana open, some of it blue. I think so. I think Fable can be annoying. So still Besage is represented here. Now they are representing their own veto. I guess holding on to the Discontinuity would have been really nice. If I Thespian Stage, they Besage you, I can Discontinuity in response. Sending Teferi out into what's almost certainly a Dovin's veto doesn't seem great. I think I'm going to foretell Behold. Honestly, probably shock in the Fountain. If the shields ever come down, I think I will Thespian Stage this plans. Okay, so Bring to Light. We have 2 options, right? We can either Behold the Multiverse or we can Narset's Reversal this, and I really think I'm on the Narset's Reversal train. Well, Narset's Reversaling the Bring to Light isn't super appealing, right? Because no mana was spent to cast a spell. So I'd have to hit like a 0 drop, and I don't think there are any. Let's behold, see what we find. Yeah, that's going to be 2 bottoms. So now we can just Narset's Reversal bring to light to buy us another turn, which is like not super inspiring. But it does give us a turn to like slam to Teferi, see a bunch of cards. We even have this Otawara to bounce the binding and get our Teferi back. I mean, they'll binding right away again. I don't think I want this to resolve. This doesn't work. We're not going to get anything. But I don't think I want them to get a new visit in play or whatever else they happen to have found. So again, this doesn't work because we didn't spend any mana at all to cast the copy of the spell. So we get to cast a spell of CMC 0. Now I think I'm into Teferi. Make sure we plus them before anything else because they could have another Leyline Binding. Instead, we just get Lotus Field down. I think I'm more than happy to pitch these 2 pathways. They have Leyline Binding. Sure. That is weird timing for it, but okay. All right, so we're going to get to untap up to 5 mana at the end of the turn. That opens up the possibility of Otawara-ing a Leyline Binding, but that's not great because they'll do it in response anyway. We'll have to play it by ear. Could even just copy here. We know Bring to Light's coming. We just pass. Okay, so here's Bring to Light again. This one I don't think we can do anything about. So we'll see what they do. Probably hit Niv Mizzet, and the game goes on. Valky is here. Okay, so they're going to get Tibski. That doesn't seem too bad to me. It doesn't seem bad to me at all. Yeah, I think we just let this touch the board. We'll see what they do. They get to exile the top card here. They have the emblem. Even if I bounce Tibalt, they can still play whatever they find. So I think we chill, see what they hit. They Bring to Light and a Wandering Emperor. That's pretty good. Now the question, I guess, is do we copy with Espion Stage, or do we fire off a Deluge, or do we bounce with Otawara? Bouncing with Otawara, a Leyline Binding doesn't achieve too much, but if we bounce Tibski, they get to replay it as Valky next turn. I think I just want to get as much mana as possible, and if they have a Boseiju, I kind of just want to get it out of them at this point. Nope, it instantly resolves. Great. Found Discontinuity, that's gas. So, we can Otawara Binding, hit Teferi, Teferi plus, we'll get 2 Lotus Fields on taps, a bunch of new cards. I don't hate it. They will just rebinding Teferi. I think I'd buy it, though. Yeah. Actually, I think the right thing to do is just bounce Tibski. I'll play a Castle, and I'll bounce Tibalt. All right, so we know that they have a Wandering Emperor, and we know that they have another Bring to Light. But we can discon in response to the Bring to Light. Opponent's not interested. It looks like they're going to cast the Wandering Emperor. Fine with me. Yeah, we have a couple Get Losts in the deck that we can use to get rid of these Leyline Bindings. Teferi will tuck Wandering Emperor, and that'll even put it back into our hand. All of these stink. Proctor isn't the worst in this spot, because if I bounce a Binding by some means, then I'll be able to, it'll tax it coming back down. Yeah, again, probably just chill. Not under a ton of pressure. We have multiple discontinuities that we can use as counterspells. I don't feel like we discon in their upkeep here. We just make them commit. Maybe I should have just played the Proctor as a blocker for one of these. Yeah, that would have been okay. Alright, So they bring to light. I think we're just going to deluge here and have 6 mana after that to cast Discontinuity. Found Get Lost, that's gas. We'll take both of those, thank you very much. And now we end the turn. Cool, and we found Teferi anyway, so that's probably the ball game. Land, that's fine. Let's play Proctor. Oops. I kept that 1 blue mana instead of the 1 white. Again, I think who cares? I don't feel the need to do it in their upkeep. I have definitely skipped my Teferi trigger before on Magic Online. It is a very easy thing to do, so if I'm taking a little too long on my end step, you know why. So both of these things are going to come at Teferi. We'll block the 2/2, I think. Teferi's a big boy. He can handle it. I don't feel like we're in any particular danger here. Through a veto. Oh, interesting. So this does threaten Teferi. Good enough for me, I think. Find another Get Lost. That's pretty good. Yeah, I definitely want these to be used for some... Actually, you know what? I think I just want this to happen. I think I just want to get these 1/1s in play to protect Teferi now. Use the extra mana, I suppose, to Get Lost the Wandering Emperor. Past end step, we'll untap the Lotus Fields and we're good. Vanishing Verse targets Proctor. You got it, my friend. Maybe I should have untapped Castle Ardenvale. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have a lot of mana, I think is what I'm getting at here. These are both coming at Teferi. I'll block the 3/3. I think I'm even down to Get Lost the Samurai to keep Teferi around. They're close, I guess, to just casting Tibalt again, but we do have the veto for that. I mean, gotta see if we can find some way to deal with that. I do regret casting the Get Lost on the token now. Dispute's good. Dispute, and probably just a Wandering Emperor. Cool. Untap. Stage, sure. Teferi plus. Solid Fountain is fine. Play Thespian Stage. Yeah, I don't think much matters here. Just play a Wandering Emperor now. Minus. Pass. At some point, we're going to need to kill them, but we still have plenty of time on the clock, and I really don't think there's a way we lose this game. Like, at some point, we're going to ultimate this Teferi, right? That's basically a given. We can also just cast the biggest Sphinx's Rev of all time, but if we do that post-Teferi, then that's even better. Yeah, go ahead. You have an Omnath. Vanishing Verse, target Wandering Emperor. Got a lot of Omnath exploring. And I think here we're just in the market to make some tokens. I even think I'm actually going to make a copy of Castle. Tap. Plus again. Oh, okay. Well, that will probably end the game. It's going to go ahead and play the Proctor out. Make a creature. It's got to use the mana for something, right? Can't leave value on the table. And I think I actually want both Lotus Fields. And now, basically, no matter what we do, we can discontinuity it, untap, ultimate Teferi, and things look good. Tibski. I mean, we can just discontinuity this, realistically. Yeah, I think I just want to discontinuity this. Found a dispute. All right. Here's our emblem. And they're tapped real low. So I think the solution here is just to have the biggest friggin' Sphinx's Revelation of all time. With Dovin's Veto backup. Actually, well, with Dovin's Veto and Dispute. Yeah, and that'll do it. So we were going to draw 8 cards, exile 8 of their permanents, and that was going to be the ballgame. Cool. Deck felt pretty good there, but probably a very good matchup for us, I would think. On to the next one. Okay, we get to be on the play again. And this time we have it. Just Proctor into Sparrow's Head, or into Lotus Field, and hope to use the Wandering Emperor to take over the game from there. Let's, Given the amount of mana we're going to have, I actually think I'm going to keep the Sparrow's Headquarters around a cycle. Okay, so Spirebluff Canal, probably up against Phoenix. Xena 1 is a player I know. They're in the Lotus Field Discord, the Pro Pioneer one, with Raced. If it's Phoenix, they have great ways to answer Proctor here. So I think I'm just going to play Hollow Storm Giants and pass. Ooh, Jeskai stuff. All right. I don't know what this is. But if they don't counter the Proctor here, then we get a Lotus Field. I'm happy with that. My opponent, I'm saying he's cheating not playing Lotus Field. He says it's not a good time for us Lotus sickos. And he's right. It's a rough world out there if you're a Lotus Field player. I do know Xena 1 has, I think top 8 at a challenge, had a few 5-0 leagues with Lotus, even in this terrible meta. So, strong player we're up against. Jeskai Ascendancy is here. Do I want to deal with Jeskai Ascendancy bullshit? Or do I just get it lost right now? I believe the answer is to get it lost right now. And am I willing to expose Wandering Emperor to a counter? Yeah, I don't think resolving Emperor here is like super great, and holding up Otawara might actually be good if they play another Ascendancy or something. And they do. Shocking in the Steam vents. Down to just play the Wandering Emperor here, I think. We can deal with... Oops. No. Do not exile a tapped creature. Make a Samurai, please. Impulse hitting Proctor. They do have Mastery. They do get to loot with Ascendancy, but that's fine. We do have to draw something. See what we draw when we cycle Sparrow's Headquarters here. A Thespian Stage. Not the best. We need to consider now whether to deal with the Ascendancy on my turn or not. They don't have a creature in play, but I don't really like them getting loots. If they have another Ascendancy, then... Yeah, I think I'm just going to bounce this. Tapping out kind of blows, but I don't want to give them a turn with Ascendancy on board, because it's scary. Tap land go. Tap land, go. Unfortunately, we don't get anything at all. They're at 15. This is 5 damage, 12. They're not quite dead. So I guess I'm just going to copy Lotus Field here, and I might as well do it now, because I think my plan is going to be to get lost this turn. The Ascendancy. Maybe not. Maybe I just chill. They could have a counterspell. They could have, like, Dovin's Veto. Yeah, I think I'm just going to kill this now. They could have, like, Lightning Helix, I guess. Then we wouldn't have enough damage next turn to kill. I mean, at this point, we don't have anything. We need very badly to draw, like, a Deluge or a Behold the Multiverse or something. Playing Otawara instead of bouncing a token. We find Jwari Disruption. Could be like Beseiju if I try to animate the hall. Show me. Oh man, they have just enough. They get to pay the ward here. Oh, that's gross. I can't even tax them. Okay. I mean, I guess. Maybe I was supposed to not pay with the field, so I could copy that if I needed to. But again, this is still quite a bit of pressure on them. I am hoping that this Jwari Disruption gets to hit something. They don't have much material left is the thing. Whichever one of these I plus the Emperor onto is a lethal threat, so killing one token isn't enough. Dig Through Time. It's a good one. Still hard to imagine them, like, comboing off from nothing here. Even with 5 cards in hand. They have 4 mana. Obviously, we're exchanging the Jwari Disruption for literal anything at this point. I'm wondering what we could even hit. Okay. Trawler's pretty good. I think I actually just attack. Yeah, I think I just attack here. Force their hand. If I plus Wandering Emperor onto anything, then they just know which one of these to kill. It's probably better to just, if they do have an answer to this, to just make another token. Galvanize. Yeah. That counts as literal anything, I think. And now we get to resolve Trawler. We don't have any cards to discard to Trawler, actually, which is a little awkward. If they have a sweeper and I play this out, it feels pretty bad. But I think I actually... I think I need to just, like, give them problems. Like, I'm sure there are ways for them to... If they don't have a sweeper here, then there's probably still a, a combination of cards that gets us, but not many. Looks like we're starting with another Dig Through Time here. Yep. Yeah, got there. Okay. So, Jeskai Ascendancy. Interested in Dispute. Am I interested in Lockdowns? Maybe. I don't know if they have a way to haste things up. It's been a while. Let me look at a recent list for Jeskai Ascendancy. Okay, so I'm looking at this now. I don't see anything that gives their board haste, so I do think the temporary lockdowns are good. Get Lost obviously was outstanding. Veto's good against their Ascendancies. Narset's Reversal is meh. Settle the Wreckage is probably fine. I think I'm willing to cut the Sunfalls and Farewells. 3 more cuts. Maybe it's just, honestly, maybe it's the Proctors. Just try to play a fair game with them. I don't like it. I think the Dream Trawler's, like, actively bad. Maybe I'll just trim 2 Proctors here. It's not, like, essential that we get the Lotus Fields in play like it is for Lotus Field combo. Let's try this. Okay. So we have the discontinuity to cheat in the Lotus field as is. Yeah, we can keep this. Not in love with it, but we can keep it. I'm going to play out the Hollowed Fountain here. It was a tough decision between playing Hollowed Fountain and Sparrow's Headquarters. I think the deal is the same. Just Sparrow's Headquarters might turn into another card later, and it's a bit of flood insurance. We also have to wonder if our discontinuity will actually resolve on turn 3 to get the Lotus field into play. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't, of course, but it would suck if it didn't. I think I want to put this into play on white, because that gives us the line next turn, if need be, of Thespian Stage plus Lockdown. They're seeking the beast. They got that dog and... And by the dog, I mean Questing Beast. Or Questing Druid. If they jam... Oh, they just jam Druid. Sure. So now this represents Dispute. Oh, okay. That's fine. Yeah, I think it's just Lotus Field Discon on our turn. This is not a juicy enough temporary lockdown yet. He's kind of in a rough spot here, because he can like try to grow this Questing Druid, but he has to play spells pre-combat in order to hit hard, but he also, against a control deck, wants to keep his mana open on my turn. So it's a rough spot. Currently tapped out of blue mana, which we like to see. Never mind. Okay. So we have the line here of temporary lockdown with Jory Disruption back up. If they have exactly Dovin's veto, then that's painful, but probably better to get lockdown vetoed than Teferi. Okay, that's nice, honestly. I think I'm just going to play out the Thespian Stage here. Seeking that beast again. I could have disrupted that. Maybe I should have. If his best line before was to play a Questing Beast and grow it, it probably still is. And then I can at minimum Teferi Tuck. Kind of just really wanted mana more than I wanted to stop them from advancing their plan. Because resolving Teferi with 2 Lotus Fields in play is very, very good. Monastery Mentor is pretty frightening, though. That's honestly terrifying, actually. But nothing we can do about it. And they're threatening a counterspell. Yeah. Well, we're going to copy. Wandering Emperor is a very good draw here. So we have 6, 7, 8 mana, which is not enough to both Teferi and Wandering Emperor. I don't want to expose Teferi to Dovin's veto here. I think I'm going to cycle 1 Sparrow's Headquarters and see what happens. I think that's good enough for me to just play out this other Sparrow's Headquarters. Hello. Magic Online. Magic Online does seem to have started to chug a lot lately. Is now the time? I think now's the time. And we'll do it like this so that we still hold up veto. 1 Lotus Field by itself can't cast veto. And hopefully they can't kill me here. It's probably not impossible. It's probably impossible through veto, though. Temporary Lockdown would be good. Otawara would be good to bounce Lockdown and replay it. We can also just jam Wandering Emperor main phase to exile the Monastery Mentor. Does that change anything? We have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. Always just a little bit short, eh? So 9 is enough to Wandering Emperor plus Teferi. It's like, if I play the Wandering Emperor, it's almost certain that they will counter it and have a bunch of prowess triggers next turn. So am I supposed to like throw Teferi to the wolves here so that I get to Wandering Emperor minus on the Mentor, gain some life? It's a lot of prowess in play already, though. Can also just discontinuity in their upkeep. If they have Dovin's Veto, then we probably lose the game. I don't play Teferi. I'm not sure it's right. Just negate, huh? So we can force through a Teferi here. Yeah, if we veto this, we have Teferi, untap both, we have discontinuity. I think I buy it. We're gonna have 8 mana. Yeah, it sucks. I was gonna say we can Otawara our temporary lockdown and replay it, and that will probably end the game. We can also in end step resolve the Wandering Emperor, exile the Monastery Mentor, but we're kind of in the same place then. Yeah, I think the plan is discontinuity and probably in their combat. Yeah. Bouncing Mentor with Otawara is also a line, but I think that the way we deal with Mentor here is by Otawara bounce, lockdown, replay it. So we get Otawara and Emperor here. They have to kill us through that. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Sylvan Awakening, huh? Until next turn, all lands you control become 2/2 elementals with reach, indestructible, and haste. They are still lands. Let's let them attack, see if they'll tap out. Okay, now they're tapped out. So now it's just discon, right? Nothing else will do. And we can deny them the scry. All right. Now we can, what? We have 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. We can bounce lockdown for 4, replay it, 7. Yeah, and then we have Wandering Emperor to clean up the Mentor. Yeah, sure. Actually, this is just nasty, right? Because this will also hit. Oh no, it's non-land permanent. Okay, actually, this is a problem. I think we need to draw a card. Yeah, I think this is necessary. It might just be dead here, because these are all lands. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. We have Emperor plus Get Lost. Sure. Let's go to our end step, I think. Untap the 2 Lotus Fields, but don't pass yet. Let's get rid of the Monastery Mentor before they can do anything about it. And pass, I guess. Oh, these don't stay lands. Oh, okay. I thought these were just lands forever. Okay, then I really overthought it. I thought I was in deep trouble. What happens when this attacks? Just first strike. How are we attacking? They're attacking Wandering Emperor. I believe I am okay with this. Would you stop? Okay, they're empty-handed though, so no threats here. We can safely deluge. Discontinuity and Sphinx's Rev seem great. Yeah, tough to go wrong here. No wrong way to eat this Oreo. Let's plus disputes fine. This is okay. Am I playing at the Lotus Field? No. Actually, let's flashback Deluge. Why not? Yeah, sure, whatever. Opponent says GG's in the chat. They are a gentleman and a scholar. Yeah, this control feels really good right now. Like, this deck always feels so good when I play it, and then when I take it to like a paper tournament, it just misfires. Maybe it's because when I play paper tournaments, it's like the RC, and I'm up against like very, very good opponents, but God, this deck feels good on Magic Online. Okay, we continue to be lucky with the die roll here. And now this is the first, like, unkeepable hand. Can't afford to risk not hitting our land drop on 2. This hand is also not very good, but I think we have to keep it. Opponent has not revealed a companion. I think I just want my lands. Wandering Emperor is probably good. I think it's just the second settle, or is it Proctor? Proctor's the only thing we do on turn 1 or 2. I think it's the second settle. And I guess I'm going to play this on white. And then next turn I probably, if I don't draw land, have to defer playing this and play Thespian Stage instead. Opponent says, basic island, go please. Could be a lot of things. Discontinuity. All right. I'm just going to play out the Proctor, honestly. Now that we have the discontinuity as a way to cheat a Lotus Field in too. Okay, so basic island, consider probably up against Izzet Phoenix. Settle the Wreckage pretty good against them. They've been a Fiery Impulse. Ledger Shredder is here. Okay, well that makes my life easier. I was going to say that we could play Henchgate Pathway on white, copy the island with Thespian Stage, but that seems unnecessary now. So I guess I'll play this on blue. Represents the highest number of possible things. Free the Fae. They hit an Ashiok and a Phoenix. And it looks like a total with? Yeah, no legal hits off of that Phoenix. I block. I block you, sir. Yeah, I guess I want this. Which color mana do I want to disappear later in the game when I recopy a Lotus Field? I guess it doesn't really matter. There's some utility in copying a basic, but not much. They don't really have ways to destroy it. So I think I'm going to copy white and play this pathway on blue. Yeah. Okay. Awkward. Yeah, we have to play Lotus Field here, right? Like, the Proctor is going to die at some point. Yeah. I don't think there's a reason to copy now. Treasure Cruise is good. That helps fix their hand a little bit. Man, if they end up going Galvanic Iteration, Temporal Trespass, and we get to Discontinuity in response, that's such gas. Okay, so they do have Spell Mastery. They have a second Phoenix. So there goes the Proctor. They're almost certainly going to get the 2 Phoenixes back and possibly a third. And there you see kind of the weakness of Settle the Wreckage, because I would love, if I had a normal board wipe, to just untap and Wrath. Wow, no Phoenix here? That's very, very, very good for us. It's almost hard to believe, actually. At minimum, they could have... Oh, they can't flashback Iteration for 2 mana. Dude. I mean, I guess. I think... Do we just use the Wandering Emperor, cash it in to kill the Ledger Shredder here? Maybe. Spell Pierce is like a likely card for them to have in their hand. I think I want to just chill. Let's play this out on blue and say go. Because I think there's a reasonable chance that they use all their mana here, swing out with several Phoenixes, and only have Spell Pierce to protect from Settle the Wreckage. And in that case, we will have the mana to pay. And if they don't have all the Phoenixes come back this turn, we can just Wandering Emperor, try to kill one of the Ledger Shredders that way. There goes Temporal Trespass. So that was spell number 2. Surely they're not going to have spell number 3. Or they're not going to not have spell number 3 this time. Treasure Cruise. So, like, we could discontinuity in response to that, but I don't feel the need. I think Settle the Wreckage, nailing 2 Phoenixes and 2 Shredders is very, very good for us. Yeah, we're going to get them. Yeah. Yeah. Good. That's a tough one to watch. That's painful. They do have 7 cards in hand, right? Like, this game is not over, but that does... Wow. I don't think I want to play this Lotus Field. I think I want to keep it as fodder to discard to Dream Trawler in case they have Lightning Axe. And I think I want to make multiple Samurai to protect against their removal. Like, getting this one up to 3 doesn't protect it from anything. But this way they need 2 different spells. And yeah, I think I just tap both fields to do this. If I'm not going to play the other field. Now we can say go. Now in this play, like in this spot, we don't have discontinuity up, but we do have freaking Dream Trawler. So that demands an answer from them, and they might just not have it. Found another Phoenix. They're down to 15 cards in library here. We saw the Temporal Trespass go away. So unless they run 2, I guess this is running 2 Galvanic iterations. So you have to imagine that they probably do run multiple Temporal Trespass too. So some care required, I guess. We don't have to worry about it this turn, of course, but on future turns, it's probably very important to keep this up. Lightning Axe the Trawler, so that does tap it down, at least. They're going to get 2 Phoenixes back. Okay, so they didn't have a second Lightning Axe to hit the Dream Trawler. That's good. Or if they do, they're saving it for next turn to tap it down so I can't attack, which is sensible. So probably Emperor is dead here. Yeah, so we're going to take 3. Emperor is going to die. I think we're in good shape. If we're allowed to attack, I think we're in very, very good shape. Now, do the Lightning Axe on my upkeep. So we can discontinuity here. We just don't get our draw for turn in that case. Is this the last Lightning Axe? No, it's not. They have 1 more after this. So we can either discontinuity here end the turn. We can pitch discontinuity, tap our Dream Trawler, or we can hold discontinuity for their turn. I would say that's a tough one. Either the only 2 Phoenixes left. We're only going to get attacked for at most 9 next turn. Alright. If they have Temporal Trespass, though. How many? They have 1 in the bin. Yeah, 1 in the bin, and that's it. I'm going to pitch it. I don't know that it's right. Okay, that's kind of what I was hoping to find. Hello? Yeah, Magic Online is chugging. I should have restarted the client, honestly. Yes. Find an island, which I think we're supposed to not play. Because I think we need to be able to protect our Dream Trawler. And just don't Temporal Trespass combo me. Oh, they're gonna do it. Yeah. They have 9 damage. Oh. Okay. I can live with this. All right, yeah. I think double treasure cruise is something that we can probably beat when they're on 8 cards in library. If they have another temporal trespass, I mean, if they had temporal trespass in hand, they wouldn't double treasure cruise, right? They would double trespass, unless they're worried about discontinuity or something. They're on 5 cards in library here. I think that is our new win con. Yeah, they found the last lightning axe. Do you have another, sir? Oh, they have fiery impulse here, I guess. It's a double impulse kill the trawler. Okay. Yep, this is all fine. Okay, we're gonna need to draw well. It'll also depend a little bit on whether they kill Teferi or not. They might feel that they just have to go face to kill me in 2 turns. In their spot, I would not let Teferi live. And it looks like they're not either. So Teferi's gonna die. We're gonna take 3 down to 11. We're gonna need to draw something. That's something. All of those seem bad. So if we go to Wara back a Phoenix, we're taking 7 next turn. We probably can't die. Probably can't die next turn anyway. Sure. I think we'll look for something better. Oh, man. I really want to play Teferi Plus. But that seems incredibly greedy. I think we just Teferi and tuck something. The question's what? Probably one of the Phoenixes. I guess it has haste. They replay it. They're still attacking for as much as they would attack for otherwise. So I guess we're tucking the Shredder. Yeah. If we tuck the Shredder, I don't think we can die next turn. This is true, actually, too. This forces them to draw a discard. So 4 cards left in the library. We know what one of them is. They have 5 cards in hand. But most of them probably draw cards. This is 8 damage next turn. So attacking me with the Phoenix and attacking Teferi is probably the way to go. That is strange sequencing. Probably would have played that first. But now they get to kill Teferi and present lethal next turn. So we're in the same boat that we were last turn. And probably dead, honestly, unless we draw something excellent. We do have a bunch of sweepers in the deck. Any of them would be good. Yeah, this is what keeps happening to me when I play this deck in paper. Yeah, we're dead. So they've seen Settled Wreckage. I don't think they're going to make a mistake, because I think they're kind of priced into attacking with everything. But they might be gun shy. Yeah, they're still going to attack for lethal here. You got it. Okay. So that's rough, honestly. I felt like we had a very good start and just kind of fizzled out. Maybe that's my fault. I'm sure it's my fault. I'll look back on it and be sad at one point. But not yet. So in come a lot, actually. In comes Disputes, in comes Vetoes, in comes Dramoka. Maybe in comes Ashiok. Trawler seems good. Don't think I'm super into Proctor. Farewell seems pretty expensive, even though it deals with the graveyard. Probably trim it to Teferi. Like, our deck, we brought in some high end with Dramoka. I don't think I ever want to cut Deluges. 2 more cuts. Trawler strikes me as going to be incredibly hard to resolve. I think Dramoka just takes the Trawler's place. 1 more. I think I want it to be Behold. Yeah, Behold's kind of a nimble card. I was considering Behold versus Sphinx's Rev. I think if we're ever casting Sphinx's Rev for what we would want to cast it for, we're winning anyway. So I think this is what I'm after. So on the play here, and is okay. We have no white. We have no white. We do have a dispute. I think this hand just has too many bad draws. Like, there's a lot of white spells in our deck, and if we don't draw white, then we're just kind of hosed. So I think this does have to go away. This is a keep. I think it's stage, because I don't want to sacrifice the stage to a Lotus Field. Next turn we'll have dispute for Ledger Shredder or whatever. It's possible it was supposed to be Teferi. Alright, well, thank you, game. Consider's fine. Not countering consider. Now, am I into disputing Shredder? Next turn is going to be Lotus Field, almost certainly, and we're not going to have mana. I actually think I do. Yeah, I mean, we have to do this. I don't think there's any holding Lotus Field in hand. We need to make some progress. Come on. Okay, well, I'm glad that you guys are getting to see this side of the deck. Maybe bottoming the stage there was wrong. Like, if I had bottomed Teferi instead of bottoming stage all those turns ago, we would have been in very, very good shape here. Instead, as it is, we drew multiple Teferis. But at the same time, any land would have had us in excellent shape, being able to cast Deluge or Settle the Wreckage. And of course, we've drawn more Teferis than we've drawn lands. So that's always a concern. Like, I think that's just bad variance, honestly. I think bottoming the stage was fine. So here's a Ganjo. We're going to need... I mean, we've got big Boom Booms in our hand. If they go all out on us, we get to Settle the Wreckage. We get Deluge on their end step here. If they counter that, then we get to hopefully draw untapped land, slam Teferi. Game's not over. Treasure Cruise is good. So I think before they draw these cards, I'm going to try to resolve my Deluge. See if they Spell Pierce it. They do. Okay. Okay, untap land. Untap land. I mean, I guess. Yeah, maybe the sideboarding was wrong. Yeah, if I'd had the Proctors in, then this would have also not been a problem. Proctor also dodges Spell Pierce. Yeah, maybe Proctors are supposed to stay in, and it's the discontinuities that come out. Discontinuity just seems so good, though. Crackling Drake. For the love of God, untap land. Thank you. Now what do we do with it? So we can Teferi plus. If they... Then we get to untap at least 4 mana. Well, exactly 4 mana. And that will threaten to kill the Drake if they attack. If they kill Teferi, maybe we're just okay with that. That's better than Teferi Tuck. Okay. Guess we have to plus Wandering Emperor. And go to end step. We have Settled the Wreckage. I mean, I seriously doubt it's going to resolve, but at least it'll make my opponent think. Yep. And if they, try to grow the Drake and we settle them and they counter that, then we have another Teferi. Just raw dogging the Izzet Phoenix here. That's probably good news for us. Are they attacking both Planeswalkers? They are. I mean, we're certainly trying this. Okay. So we've got the thing next turn, right? We'll have 2 Lotus Fields and a Teferi. I mean, this is a very, very big crackling boy. I don't think that's good enough, unfortunately. Now, if we tuck the Drake, it doesn't really achieve all that much, right? I mean, it keeps us alive for a turn. The Phoenix is going to kill the Teferi. They're going to make some progress. I think I'm going to plus. That's good. Now we can Lotus Field. And we'll sack these two. And let's give them something to think about. How about Settle the Wreckage? Again, like game 2, they have negates, they have disdainful strokes. The Sunfall is nice, but it's not like game winning on its own. But Teferi, draw a card, gain 9 life. I assume they're attacking Teferi, yeah. Okay, 4 cards in hand do nothing. There's simply no way that any of these things resolve. I think we're going to Behold. If we Behold, what are we even looking for? I don't think they can kill me next turn. Maybe the play is jam Ashiok, actually, and foretell Behold. Because I feel like they'll feel the need to counter this. Dispute doesn't do it by itself. We can pay. Okay. Now, if I mill them, it grows their Drake. So I think I have to mill myself. Okay, whole lot of nothing there. And that at least should turn off Treasure Cruises, Temporal Trespasses, that kind of thing. And it might also gain some life. Ashiok's at 4. Crackling Drake might still attack it, and that's like gaining 9 life. It did just resolve. Like, no questions asked. So either they don't view Ashiok as a serious threat, or... yeah, I guess that's what it means, right? Like, either they don't believe Ashiok is a serious threat, or they don't have counterspell to counter it. Yeah, they even leave Ashiok alive here. So I don't think we have any outs if they have a counter. Yeah, keeping the same 4 cards in hand. They're probably all... So if we Behold, and they counter that, then we get to Narset's Reversal to Behold. If we find a Get Lost, then the game goes on. I think I'm in. Although if that's the play we're going for, then I can't tap both of these for blue, and I would need to do that. God, that's rough. I think this is like the only line that gives us a chance. Otawara is fascinating. That's probably even better. So no time for discontinuity, but I'll keep Otawara on top. Now I think I will mill them. And now we have to bounce this Drake, but at least this is more or less uncounterable. They're just going to replay it next turn, of course, but that costs mana. Like, if we draw untap land, we can Sunfall, they counter, we Narset's Reversal the Sunfall. We're gaming. Oh. I guess that works. Just hard cast the Phoenixes from hand? Yeah. I guess that does it. Okay. Well, that is kind of how the deck goes sometimes. It's kind of like Murktide in a way, because if you... there are a lot of times where it feels like you didn't do anything wrong when you lost. It feels like the deck just kind of dealt you a game over, but a lot of the time you look back and there's like a decision you could have made differently and maybe should have made differently that lost the match. And I keep looking back in this game to the original bottom decision that we made with Thespian Stage. If we had kept that, like, it would have more or less guaranteed a smooth run out to Teferi. And And maybe we're supposed to take that guarantee instead of expecting to draw lands in the top few cards. Because we drew more Teferis than we drew lands at that point, but still, there's more non-lands than lands in the deck. So maybe it was right to keep the Thespian stage. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for this video. I, again, don't want to make too many more than 3 matches in a video, so I don't think I'll include the whole league. If you guys have a problem with that, or if you don't like it, or have a good reason that I shouldn't, definitely let me know, like if there's an appetite to see the whole league. But I feel like you guys got a good taste of the deck so far. So that is going to be it for this video. Let me know what you thought in the comments. If you liked it, hit like. If you really liked it, hit subscribe. Tell all your friends. And I'll see you next time.